Guys, the Pokemon market is completely crazy right now. It's very hard to find product anywhere. Everything seems to be just jumping up and skyrocketing in price. So, what is a collector or a Pokemon investor to do right now? Today, I hope to answer that question and tell you what my game plan is for this year. Stay tuned and let's jump into it. All right, so jumping right into it. I think Bubble Mew is a great example of just what is going on in the hobby right now. A year ago, this card was significantly cheaper, about $100 raw. Now the raw price is $320 for Bubble Mew. It's 3x'd in just 6 months, guys. That's absolutely insane. At one point, this card was $80 when it came out. It's pretty wild. The PSA 10 is up at $955. Insane. It'll probably break 1,000 soon. And I feel like this card right now is just an example of everybody's feelings on the market in general. There's just mass euphoria. There's a lot of singles like Bubble Mew that are really popular, that are exploding in price. You've got sealed product, can't be kept on the shelves. Distributors either sold out of all their booster boxes back in November, or they officially sold out, but they actually just held back some of the booster boxes for later, which I think is probably likely. But I remember back in November, I have access to like a wholesale program that I pay for, and you could get all kinds of sets, no limits. You could get Scarlet and Violet base, you could get Stellar Crown, you could get Paradox Rift. You could get those as much as you want. There was limits starting to be placed on like Obsidian Flames and on Paldea Evolved, right? Because those had already started to heat up a little bit or become a little bit more scarce. But I mean, we're talking sets that have been around, just been sitting on shelves for a long period of time. You could get as much as you wanted. And I mean, within about a month, poof, everything was just gone, which does lead me to believe that, hey, maybe as things started selling really quickly, the distributors kind of held some back. But all in all, the point is made. The market's crazy. Everything seems to be sold out. There seems to be no stock of anything. So what are we supposed to do? Well, first I want to talk to the collectors, and then I want to talk to investors. So if you're an investor, stick around. But I think probably most of my audience is probably primarily collectors, maybe secondary. You do some investing. First, for collecting, don't get FOMO on these new sets, guys. Pokemon just recently came out with that announcement. I had another video. They're going to print Prismatic a lot more, and the implication in the announcement seems to be that they just understand that there's a general lack of supply on the market for Pokemon in general, and that they're going to increase their printing capacity. So I do think we will see restocks, or reprints, I should say, of a lot of sets. I really do. I don't think we're going to see things like Paradox Rift or Obsidian Flames, frankly, Scarlet and Violet base. Like, we probably won't see any of those that the box price hasn't even hit MSRP yet. But I do think we'll see more surging. It's already been confirmed in February there'll be more surging sparks, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's another wave later. We're for sure going to get more prismatic, so hold your horses on that. I would seriously wait for that. I think that set's going to get printed for 2 years, personally. I really think 151 needs a big reprint. I think that these Blooming Waters premium collection boxes that are coming into Costco and Best Buy and GameStop and all these places, I think they're going to just disappear almost instantly. The market hype and demand is so high right now. I don't think it's going to do much of anything. 151 price might dip for a second and then bounce right back. I think Pokemon needs to legitimately print the crap out of 151. I do. Like, it's too desirable of a set. Everybody wants it. And not everybody just wants it. Everybody wants to master it. It's probably going to be the most mastered Pokemon set maybe in history. Maybe even more so than like base set Jungle and Fossil from back in the day. Tons of people want to master this set. There's a lot of nostalgia tied to the original 151 Pokemon. I really think Pokemon needs to do a big, massive reprint, like not just a collector box, but like ETBs, booster bundles, mass print them right now. That's my personal belief. I don't think a set should have $11 or $12 packs a year and a half later. I just don't feel like there's enough supply on that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see more 151. I think it needs to happen. I also think, we were just talking about the Mew from Paldean Fates. I really think they need to reprint Paldean Fates, guys. This is nuts. ETBs are $91 for Paldean Fates. Again, this set only came out a year ago. It's not normal for ETBs to almost triple in price from what they used to be in a year. This shows $50 here. Oh, this is a 3-month chart. Excuse me. Yeah, 1 month chart. At one point, you get them for $36 back in May. Astronomical growth. I just think everybody wants this because everybody wants that Bubble Mew and everybody wants the Charizard. They need to reprint this set. I really do. So I think we're going to see a lot of reprints. I think right now, if you're a person that likes to rip, maybe just be patient. I think it's a good time to adjust your thinking. Maybe turn to some sets that are less popular. Like right now, for instance, Shrouded Fable, Paradox Rift, Scarlet and Violet base set, like a lot of those are still pretty affordable to rip. It's a great time to go after those sets. I've talked at length about how much I love Paradox Rift. It's my favorite set from the Scarlet and Violet era. I know that puts me in the minority, but guys, there's some gorgeous art in this set to chase. Gorgeous art. You're looking at $150 for a booster box. Journey Together is coming out, brand new set, $160. I don't think Journey Together is any better set than Paradox Rift, in my personal opinion. It's just the hot new thing. So if you're willing to go open the sets that are not the current hot new thing, I think you can find better value there. So that would be my suggestion for ripping. If you want to rip packs, go to some of these sets that are less hyped up. And then I want to talk about collecting. So there's a lot of Pokemon sets, guys. This is Pokedata.io. It's a phenomenal website. You can check out different card prices and sets. You look through here and there is a ton of sets that Pokemon has released over the years. A ton. This is a great time to go back and just start exploring other sets. Look for cards that you feel like are underappreciated or not in the limelight and collect those. Instead of collecting all these high flyers from Prismatic Evolutions and Surging Sparks and that are already really hot and expensive, and 151 and Paldean Fates and all that stuff, this can be a really great time to go back to Sword and Shield, go back to Sun and Moon, and just look for some cards that you've maybe been wanting. For me personally, I'm going back even farther than that. The focus for me this year is really going to be vintage. There's a lot of vintage cards that I would love to have in my collection that I just haven't prioritized. I've been chasing modern a lot and I love modern cards. I'm not like a vintage or modern guy. I love both legitimately. But I've really been wanting to do the Gym Heroes and Gym Challenges set in a binder collection. And recently the other day, let me share this. All right. Sorry, this is tough to get on camera here, but I went to a local card show recently and, just found a whole bunch of Gym Heroes, Gym Challenge, and then even like some base set trainer stuff. And got a whole lot of them. Basically, it priced at around 50, and I traded one of my own cards from Crown Zenith in that I had a duplicate. And so I paid even less than that. I paid like, I don't know, $30 or something like that or whatever. There's a few non-holo rares in this, but mostly just like commons and uncommons in pretty good condition. And it's kind of tough here for me to get all this on camera, but just a really good start to Gym Heroes, which I love Gym Heroes. It's my favorite of the two sets. So probably mostly my focus will be on Gym Heroes first. I got a lot of trainers to get there still. And then of course it ends out with the energies. And then I did get some cards for Gym Challenge, but there were not a lot. I love some of these cards though. Giovanni's Meowth. Love that card. Blaine's Mankey, Blaine's Vulpix up there. Beautiful card. These are phenomenal cards. Love this LT Surge's Pikachu up there. Like I said, really hard to get the binder on the screen and let you see everything. But that is going to be a focus of mine this year, is going to be going after those Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge sets, I've always kind of felt like they're just underappreciated, uh, which is fine. Fortunately, my small little channel is not going to bring enough attention to them to actually change the prices, which is good. I hope people keep overlooking them because I think they're absolutely beautiful sets. If we look here at like Gym Heroes, obviously the top cards are going to be all these hollows, but love these cards. I've got Erica's Dragonair in a PSA 10 in my collection. I've got LT Surge's Firo, which is my favorite card in the entire set, in a PSA 10. I planned to collect all these basically binder copy level. I did order a Blaine's Moltres raw on eBay recently, so that'll be my first holo for the set. But yeah, I look forward to just completing this entire set. And then also Gym Challenge, which I think most people prefer Gym Challenge over Gym Heroes. Here we go. I'm not going to probably do the first edition, or at least focus on the first edition. I just don't really want to pay the extra price. But yeah, Gym Challenge has some phenomenal cards here too. I do love the Rockets Mewtwo. Notice the window is actually smaller on Rockets Mewtwo, which is really interesting. Erica's Venusaur, an absolute classic. You've got 2 different Gyarados in the same set. How cool is that? It is tough to say though, because I really do love Gym Challenge almost as much as Gym Heroes, but I love Rocket Zapdos and Blaine's Arcanine a lot too. Misty's Golduck. I mean, goodness gracious, these sets are so good. Sabrina's Alakazam, guys. Blaine's Ninetale. Look at this. Look at the art in this set. Brock's Vulpix. It's just so good. It's so good. I love these old sets. I love Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge. So this is going to be a focus for me, and it's great because a lot of the market is not focused on this. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I've been putting it off, and I've been mainly prioritizing a lot of the cards that I thought were up and coming. But now that everything is so hot and modern, I'm probably going to spend a lot of my time this year focusing on vintage. Notice the total value, $12.34 for Gym Challenge, and it's even less for Gym Heroes. Total set value is $900. So you're looking at what, like a little over $2,000 or something like that. And if you shop around and, get some deals here and there, you can probably get in under that price, right? So I don't know if I'll necessarily finish it by the end of 2025, but this is what I want to focus on for a while, I think. There's a lot of really cool Japanese promos that I've always really enjoyed. I want to show you another website I thoroughly enjoyed. This is TCG Fish. And there's a lot of really cool old Japanese promo cards that I like. For instance, here we go, Game Boy Lugia. And it's interesting, there's 2 different listings. It was a mistake on PSA's part. The 2001 is the actual correct listing, but this is a fantastic Lugia. This is one I don't have in my collection yet that I'd love to have. It says, you can see there the GB for Game Boy. There was also a Mewtwo Game Boy promo, and I already have this one in my collection. This is one of my favorite Mewtwo cards. Absolutely gorgeous holographic card with the Game Boy promo on there as well. There's also a lot of Trainer magazine promos that I really like from the old vintage days. I would like to get this Flareon and then also the Jolteon and Vaporeon that go with it in PSA 10s at some point. There's also like the Dragonite, Dragonair, Dratini. I already have this Dark Venusaur in a PSA 10. I obviously love this one. Even though this says Game Boy, it was technically actually released as a part of the Trainer magazine. There's a lot of really cool promos from the vintage era. I love this Snap Pikachu too. It just reminds me of playing Pokemon Snap on N64 at my friend's house. So yeah, there's some really cool old school promos too that are not in the limelight right now. And I would like to make like a more detailed video in the future about some of these cards, maybe bring more awareness to you guys, just to let you know there's some really cool stuff out there that you can chase. But that's another thing I would like to focus on this year, I think, is just picking up some more of those cards that are missing from my collection. Things that, again, have not really moved in a while and are not really in the limelight. As a collector, I think it's a good time to go pick those up while the latest stuff is just way too hot. All right, so that brings me to investing. Maybe you're just kind of a light investor or you're really into investing. If you're really into investing, you're probably watching other channels, not mine. But I do think it's useful to invest. And, it's helped me even grow my collection, but it's also just been beneficial just to grow my own just capital in general. It's very hard to figure out where to put your money right now because so many things have gone up recently. People have been talking about this, but Battle Styles probably is a good buy right now. I think it's still the lowest priced Sword and Shield booster box on the market currently, and you can still pick it up at Pokemon Center for $143, whereas on TCG Player it's already up to $170. So I do anticipate this is going to do what the other Sword and Shield boxes did, where it's going to probably sell out really soon. Who knows how soon exactly? It'll probably sell out and then instantly jump up in price. Probably even beyond this 170 would be my guess. So if you want to make a short-term play, but you're willing to like hold this long-term in case it takes a long time to move, I think Battle Styles is a good move. I admit I don't love Battle Styles that much, but there are some good cards in it. You've got the Sleepy Tyranitar Altart. It's a $180 card. People like Tyranitar, and they like this card specifically. It's not my favorite Tyranitar card personally, but the market does like this card. The Empoleon V is a nice Altart as well. A Houndoom Gold. I'm not a big fan of the Urshifus, but they're in there. Some of them look kind of cool. Here's the thing. It's going to get pulled up with the rest of Sword and Shield. As the rest of Sword and Shield gains in price, people that want to collect a booster box from the entire era are going to want a Battle Styles booster box. Does that make sense? So it's going to kind of get pulled up by the other sets. And it does have a couple good cards here at the top. So I do think that's probably a good play. Shrouded Fable's been mentioned many times before on like Nostalgianomics channel. It's kind of one of the few Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet ETBs that's still reasonably priced. So in that respect, it's probably not a bad buy. You're buying it at basically less than MSRP. If you're willing to hold it for a few years, I think you'll see some appreciation. I think this set gets a lot of hate that it doesn't deserve. It's a pretty cool set, honestly. It's missing kind of that really top tier card. Fezandipity, I think, is this popular because it's playable. I like this card. It's grown on me, but I don't think it's like a top tier Altart that people are going to want to chase. I do think the Persian and the Houndoom are really nice. People like this whole Duskull, Dusknoir, Dusclops line. The Monkey Dory's not bad, in my opinion. I think the Cresselia is a beautiful card. I love the Horsey. A lot of people like the Zorora. I think it's actually a pretty sweet set. I don't think it's top tier, but I do think it's pretty fun to open. It's a pretty nice set. There are some playable cards like this Earthen Vessel you can hit that are valuable. So if you want to rip, this could be a great set to rip right now and then sell those to players while it's still a valuable card. So anyway, that would be kind of like two obvious picks. One thing to keep in mind, the promo in the ETB is not very desirable, this Petrarant. So if you happen to find booster bundles for like a lower per pack price than the ETBs, I think maybe the booster bundles might be better, less bulky, easier to ship, easier to store. I like booster bundles better than ETBs, but ETBs do have more history behind them as an investment. So something to consider. Paradox Rift, Scarlet and Violet base, Temporal Forces, Obsidian Flames. A lot of those are still probably not bad buys. And I think a lot of those early sets, SVO1 through SVO4, will probably not get reprinted. I think Temporal Forces could get reprinted, but it's probably not high priority compared to some of the other sets that they need to reprint. So I think all of those could be pretty good buys. I also think Silver Tempest, at what, $240, you might be able to get a little cheaper if you shop around. I think the market price is technically a little lower than that. I do think this is a great set. I like Silver Tempest. It's got that Lugia V Altart, which to me is still like one of my top like 3 favorite Altarts in the entire Sword and Shield era. I love it. I think it's a great set. You got a Rayquaza V in there, or VMAX, in there as well. It's a beautiful trainer gallery. I think especially as those other Sword and Shield boxes increase in price, this one's going to, kind of be always on its tail, increasing. So Yeah, I don't think this is a bad buy either. Again, when I'm saying investing, though, I'm not suggesting short term. I'm not saying, oh, I hope this will go up in 6 months. I'm saying if you're willing to hold this for a few years, I still think $240 is not going to be that big of a deal in a few years. Like, I think this could be a $400 box in 3 years. I don't think it's that crazy to imagine that. The other one I think that's underrated is Astro Radiance. It's only $230. I think this is a great set. Astro Radiance kind of gets some hate, but it's honestly a really beautiful set. You've got this really cool Machamp card. The Starmie V is my favorite from the entire set. Love this card. Talk about a nostalgia kick. I mean, look at that. Misty chilling on a inner tube with the Pokemon, or excuse me, with a Pokeball logo with Starmie. I mean, it's classic. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful textured card. The origin form Dialga is beautiful. The Garchomp V is beautiful. The Palkia is really cool. This weird like multi-dimension thing. I love this Beedrill V. I think it's way underrated. I think this is a beautiful set. And I think $230, honestly, is a good price for this one too, if you're planning on holding for a few years. So I think this would be a really good buy. Now, Brilliant Stars, I think probably is also technically a good buy for long term. I do think the price has gotten a little hot right now at $290 compared to people's sentiment for this set, but it's a very good set. And I still think in like 5 years from now, you know, all of these trainer gallery Sword and Shield boxes, I think are all going to be 600 or close to 600. I really do. And it may take a while. It could happen a lot faster than that, but I think we'll probably have a downshift in the market in a year here. Things will cool off. These will probably stagnate for a while, but if you're willing to hold for a few years, I think it could be a great investment. So Brilliant Stars, I think, is a good pick too. Now, what am I doing though? Am I doing any of this stuff? To be honest, right now, for me financially, I'm just going to hold cash for a bit. Probably won't invest for a few months. Just personally, I need to build up more of a cash position at the moment. I'm not going to be doing as much investing, especially while so much is so hot. I do really like to buy things when they're cheaper. And there's not a lot cheap right now. So I'm struggling a little bit with that. I have typically not bought booster boxes that have already jumped up in price. I do, though, believe in what I say. I think Silver Tempest and Astral Radiance are definite buys. And if I had a bunch of money lying around to invest in Pokemon right now, I would be buying those sets. I think that they're great buys. I also think Battle Styles is a good buy too. Brilliant Stars, I think, is a good buy, but not as good as the other three personally, just based on the price point. And I also still think it's a good time to pick up Paradox Rift, Temporal Forces, Obsidian Flames, Scarlet and Violet. So I think there are places to put your money. I think you may have to wait a while though to see the appreciation, since we've already seen a jump in prices on a lot of those. But I think all of those are pretty good. I would not buy Surging Sparks right now. I would not buy Prismatic Evolutions right now for investing. I would not buy Paldean Fates for investing or 151 for investing unless you're magically getting these at MSRP. If you happen to catch a drop, like Walmart drops some stock on 151 bundles and you can get them as MSRP, grab them. Absolutely. That's a great investment. Stuck those away in your closet and hold on to them. Same with Paldean Fates, but it's just really hard to get those sets right now. I think it's probably a good time to wait, and maybe you miss out forever on them. You know, it's also possible that if you bought at the price right now, they could double in a year. You can't predict the market, and you do have to be okay with the fact that you're not going to know what's going to happen, and you may miss out on some enormous gains. But I do think it's valuable to not get too risky and not buy too many things when there's too much euphoria. A lot of my Pokemon investments are up considerably, but I was buying them before the euphoria, right? And I bought some sets just as they were starting to move, even like a year ago. And that really paid off. So if you can catch something where you see it's about to move, you can make a big sudden gain. That's why I think Battle Styles is a pretty good move, because already you can see that on the secondary market, it's been moving. but it's still in stock at the Pokemon Center for $143. That's over a $30 price gap, guys, between the secondary market and the Pokemon Center. This is a good buy right now. This is one of those where you can buy it right as the excitement for it is heating up, and you can get an instant win. You know, I've done that before on stuff. Other than that, though, be ready to hold things like Shrouded Fable, Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance. Be ready to hold those for years. Don't buy it with money that you need to flip real quick. Make sure that it's actual investment money that you don't need, you're not going to need for a while. And that would be the only way that I would recommend you buying that stuff right now. This is a long-winded video. I probably lost a lot of you on that, and I apologize. There was a lot to talk about. Probably could have broken it up into multiple videos, but I just kind of wanted to give you an idea that here we are, January 25th, 2025. It's insane right now. The market's crazy, but there are still a lot of opportunities, especially I think for collectors out there right now. Maybe just open up your scope of what you're looking for. And maybe there's some cards that you've been wanting for a while and you just kind of forgot about them, or they've hit the wayside and no one else is looking at them. Now's probably a good time to go look at them. Make sure that you're checking your charts too. If you see sudden spikes in a card, might be a really good time to not buy the card and walk away and get something else instead. If you see slow increases over time, you're probably fine picking it up. Probably shows just a general healthy increased interest in that card. But the sudden spikes are the ones that you really got to watch out for. Like this battle style box jumping up on the aftermarket. This type of move can be okay on sealed product, but on a single can be really rough. So anyway, be careful out there, guys. I hope you guys can find some interesting things. Let me know in the comments what you're collecting and what your investment plans are for 2025. I would love to hear about it. I'm sure I've missed some awesome opportunities. I think there's a ton of single cards out there too that are plays right now. Let me know what you're excited about. Give me a like button if you liked the video or you found it useful. And I'd love if you'd subscribe if you enjoyed this kind of content. We will see you guys later.